How to keep a potential narcissist on their toes and keep yourself out of toxic relationships. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah Chantal. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. And today I'm talking about how to keep a potential narcissist on their toes and stay out of toxic relationships. And you might think, Leah, nobody in my life's a narcissist. Everybody's good. I've manifested a good life. And the truth is, you never really know anybody 100%. That doesn't mean you want to assume somebody has a narcissistic personality, but it's becoming a bigger problem and it's really on the rise in society. So especially when you're getting to know new people, but even people you've known a long time, you just never know anyone fully. And that's especially true when you're entering into new romantic relationships or new business partnerships. I'm going to give you some tips that are going to help you keep some independence while you're in those relationships, so you're not getting caught in a potentially toxic relationship with a person, and you're just kind of keeping your own independence and standing your ground when you need to. And that's actually the first tip that I'm going to talk about, is that when you are in a high level of trust with somebody in a relationship, or you are in a business partnership, or you work for somebody, it's very important that if anybody ever tells you to do the wrong thing, now there's a difference between like having a different perspective or a different approach to something, but if something you feel is wrong that's going on at work or it's going on in your personal relationship, you need to find a way to set a boundary early on, or else your boundaries are going to keep getting crossed over and over and over again. So in a relationship, it might look like an inappropriate request that a gentleman is making to your relationship that is actually crossing a moral boundary for you. Maybe I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example. But maybe, like, let's say, for example, you're just getting to know somebody and they obviously want to have sex on the first date, and that's not your priority. That would be an example of a boundary that could get crossed, where it's very important in that moment that you stand up for yourself and you stand up for what you do value and you do prioritize. So it's the same at work. Let's say your boss wants you to lie about the product that you're trying to sell to someone else. It's very important to set a boundary with your boss saying, I can talk about something else when I'm trying to sell the product, but I don't feel comfortable saying the thing that you're asking me to say about the product. I think it's very important to state, I know I said don't open up your emotions at work in another video, but this is a little different. This is like a specific thing that's being requested. It's not like your overall emotions about something. It's a specific request, and you're saying, I don't feel comfortable taking that particular action on that particular thing, and here is what I'm willing to do instead. Offer a different solution too. And that's a way of maintaining your boundary at work and not getting into really toxic territory where you're doing something morally wrong in order to become successful at work. Because once you start crossing those boundaries, that can lead down the path to things like lawsuits or the company going bankrupt. And it's very important to be very graceful and very dignified in the way that you refuse and say that you're not willing to do X, Y, and Z. You're not willing to do it in a personal relationship. You're not willing to do it at work. And even in families, sometimes families will gang up on a particular family member who's the scapegoat or something. Find a polite and respectful way to bow out when those situations come up. You can just say that the family visit is over and you need to leave, and then do exit when they're starting to get into bullying behavior. And if they're the one picking on you, then again, you can just say, ouch, if they say something that's obviously provocative and you don't appreciate it. But even better is to just exit the situation, or don't go to certain family events if you know there are toxic family members that are going to be there. And now I'm going to talk about step number 2 in order to help yourself stay out of toxic relationships at work or personally, and that is to give people their space. When you approach people and you go on and on and on, and you are not solicited for your feedback on something, that isn't good. You want to give people as much space as possible. Don't give people your feedback or your feelings about something unless it's solicited. And even then, be very cautious. If people ask you what your feelings are about a certain topic or a certain project, you might want to check in with them and ask, are you sure you really want to know? Because their agenda may be that they really, really want you to respond positively to something that you don't really feel positive about. And I think that's a fair assessment to make, that you can give people their space, and when they ask you for your feedback and you're kind of sure that they want to hear something different than what you have to say, check in with them and ask if they really want to know your feedback on something before you speak, and then only then speak what you really think and how you really feel. Otherwise, just keep your space and let them have your space, and don't share your opinions with people, because when you say something, you can't take it back, right? And whatever you say can be taken in 100 different ways, and people can bend the truth or read into what you're saying and think you have a negative intent. So it's better to just not go there unless you absolutely have to go there. Unless it's a performance review situation at work and you have to share your opinion about something because your boss asked you, then you can share. But otherwise, keep your opinions to yourself, unless it's something where you really need to set a boundary and stand up for yourself because they're asking you to do something wrong. But if it's just something you disagree with, like the approach, you can give your feedback when it's solicited and they really want to hear it, but otherwise it's better to keep it to yourself. And it's in the same with personal relationships. I would say keep your opinions to yourself when you're dating, unless somebody really, really wants to know and they're really prepared to hear you talk about it. It's better to just not go there. It's better to listen to what they're saying and let them take the lead in the relationship. Especially actually as a woman, I think it's a good approach when you're out with a gentleman to just let them talk and let them lead the conversation, because gentlemen are always happy to talk, you know what I mean? But they're not always happy to listen. So that's just my opinion. But anyway, I'll go on to my third tip, and that is to maintain your sense of value for yourself. And what I mean by that is you want to keep engaging in activities that help you improve yourself. You want to keep engaging in activities that take care of you, such as going for a walk or meditating or taking time to spend with your family and friends. If that recharges you and makes you feel good, then take those moments to do that, and don't let anybody bully you out of doing those things. Because when somebody tries to bully you out of doing the things that really matter to you, it's sort of like they're taking a piece of your identity away. Actually, I knew this lady when I was working at a software company in Toronto, and she was this lovely, amazing lady, and she was a Taoist, and she would arrange flowers and do all these beautiful things according to her spiritual beliefs, and studied nutrition and all these cool things. And then she married somebody who was just completely different and didn't appreciate anything that she had learned according to her flower arranging skills and her diet. And then she just never used those skills again, which is not to criticize, but I just think it's kind of an unwise choice to marry a partner who doesn't see who you really are and takes away that time that you need for yourself to pursue your hobbies and your dreams and ambitions. And then when they marry you, you're also not the person that you were when they fell in love with you as well, if you don't pursue the things that you were really passionate about before the marriage. So you want to be really wise with who you get involved with, and don't let anybody take away your identity or take away the things that interest you. It's okay if your interests genuinely evolve and change, and maybe you're no longer interested in the thing you were once interested in, but don't let anybody bully you out of doing the things that you love to do. Always stand your ground, and don't let people tell you that something that you're doing is wrong, unless you really are doing something criminal and wrong. But you know what I mean. In terms of my hobbies and things like that, this isn't wrong. So don't let people take those identities away from you. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. This is how you stay in your own domain and keep a healthy relationship with yourself and stay out of toxic relationships with others. When you maintain all those boundaries, you follow your morals and values and stand up for yourself. You give people space and you don't bombard them with your thoughts and feelings, and you stay true to your hobbies and interests. You're only gonna go good places. You're probably gonna kick out anybody who's toxic in your life. And regardless of whatever your life looks like, if you follow that advice, it's gonna look good. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Take care.